By not adoring the worthy, people will not fall into dispute. By not valuing the hard to get objects, people will not become robbers. By not seeing the desires of lust, one's heart will not be confused. Therefore, the governing of the saint is to empty one's mind, substantiate one's virtue, weakens one's worldly ambition, and strengthen one's essence. He lets the people to be innocent of worldly knowledge and desire and keep the clever ones from making trouble with their wits. Acts naturally without desire, then everything will be accomplished in its natural order. Dearest Acharya Ji, Pranam. The first 3 lines in the above verse are a bit confusing. Can you please help me to understand them? Also, how does a saint let people be innocent of worldly knowledge and desire and the clever ones from making trouble with their wits? Thank you for your guidance, Nimisha. First 3 lines in the above verse are a bit confusing. And how does the saint let? Okay, first 3 lines first. By not adoring the worthy, people will not fall into dispute. By not valuing the hard to get objects, people will not become robbers. By not seeing the desires of lust, one's heart will not be confused. Action is being traced to the value behind the action. How does one become a robber? By valuing material objects. How do people fall into disputes? By adhering to ideologies and to role models. How does the mind get confused? By constantly looking at the various objects of lust and attraction. That's what Lao Tzu is saying here, Nimisha. The central attraction appears harmless. That's how the game begins. When one is being attracted by ideologies or role models, at that time, they appear sublime. And tasteful. And one feels that there would only be benefits. But what appears beneficial in the beginning leads to strife soon after. How did the subscriber to an ideology feel when he came upon the ideology the first time? He felt elevated. How did the subscriber to the opposing ideology feel when he subscribed to it the first time? He too felt elevated. But very soon these two would clash. Lao Tzu is talking against principles. He's saying when you live on patterns, and principles are patterns, when you live on patterns, strife is the inevitable result. is sweet to begin with, bitter in the end. People have killed each other, murdered each other since centuries in the name of faith, denomination, thought, principles, ideologies. How does it relate to adoring the worthy? When you adore one who is worthy, you also adore his actions, thoughts, words. Hardly do you ever reach the center of his actions. Hardly do you ever reach his heart. But you end up copying and emulating his actions. You do not reach the source from where his words originate. But you do mug up his words. And you turn them into principles. And when you are the principled one, you are bound to clash with those who appear unprincipled. Similarly, he says, by not valuing the heart to get objects, people will not become robbers. The more you install the world as a value in people, the more likely they are to get into social chaos. Even in society, there is conflict and chaos because all are running after worldly goods. One wondrous thing with the truth is that it cannot be reduced, that it cannot get diminished. You keep dividing it and distributing it, it still remains whole and total. But that is not the case with worldly objects. Everything in the world is limited. So if the people are running after truth, there is going to be no conflict. Everybody can have the truth. You can have as much truth as you want to have, and there would still remain an infinite supply of truth. But if the people of the world are running after a cake or a piece of land, then there is bound to be conflict. Because not everybody can have infinite land. Everything in the world is limited. That's what Lao Tzu is saying. The more you value the world, the more anarchy there is in the society. Two men, if they both are lovers of God, can both have God. But two men, if they both are lovers of a woman, probably they both can't have her. That's the thing with wanting anything worldly. It is always in short supply. First of all, it is in short supply. Secondly, when you get it, it is not what you wanted to get. Truth is immutable. So if you get the truth, it would remain the same after 30 years. But the woman, after 30 years, that's too much to think of. After 3 years, even that is too long a period to sustain. Even after 3 months, she does not remain what she appeared to be. Lao Tzu is saying, if you have to run after something, you better run after that which is always there to be taken, never deceives you, and is not going to ever change. Is there any love affair in which both parties do not feel cheated? They may still carry on in spite of being cheated. That is all right. But they all carry this sting. This is not how it was supposed to pan out. But now that the TV has been brought home after spending so much, it cannot be smashed on the floor. Too much investment has gone into it. So we'll carry on with it, but surely this is not what we had signed up for. There is no lover in the world who is not putting up a brave face and is smarting within. Oh no, what is it that I have brought home? With God, that risk is not there. There is no possibility of any complaints because nobody remains to complain. God is the ultimate purchase. After that, there is nobody left to purchase anything. Poison on the menu. Order it, and then you would never order anything else. And then by not seeing the desires of lust, one's heart will not be confused. When you know what it is that simply puts you off the right track, why do you get into it again and again? It's not that you do not know the beginnings of it. You know how it begins, and still you let it begin. And then you complain, oh, such thing happened with me. This is what is called in Indian scriptures as Indriya Nigraha. And sometimes as Dam. Do not let the eyes see what the eyes must not see. Do not let the ears hear what the ears must not hear. Do not let the mind think what the mind must not think of. Once you let it begin, then it is like that cereal cracker containing 1,000 mini bombs. 1000 ki ladi. All that you do is you show a little bit of flame to the first baby cracker. And after that, it is unstoppable. When you know what it is, why do you unnecessarily play with fire? Then she asks, how does a saint let people be innocent of worldly knowledge and desire? And how does the saint prevent the clever ones from making trouble with their wits? This is how. What did Lao Tzu do his entire life? He taught, he told, he exposed. That's what the saint does. And if he has a little more love, then he demonstrates. And if he has gone crazy in love, then he fights for the people. How does a saint let people be innocent of worldly knowledge? By showing them what worldly knowledge does to them. He becomes a mirror. He displays their life to them. How does the saint prevent the clever ones from making trouble with their wits? In the same way. See what your cleverness is bringing to you. It's obvious. And no one knows that better than you because you are bearing the results. Please see whether you are really free, really blissful. Please see whether you really like the state you are in. These are the questions that he asks. He implores them to fight their real battles. Sometimes he assists them in fighting their battles. Sometimes he even fights their battles on their behalf. That's how much.